The imposing Victorian town hall seems to symbolise Leeds' position as the commercial capital of the region. It was designed by Cuthbert Broderick, who was also responsible for municipal buildings in Scarborough and Hull. Now, the town hall here was the subject of a massive capital overspend. When building began, it was supposed to cost £22,000. But by the time Queen Victoria came here to open it in 1858, that figure had spiralled to £133,000. But that didn't stop the city fathers. They went on to erect other splendid municipal buildings like the library and the art gallery. By the 1920s, Leeds wanted a new look to contrast with the Victorian town hall, so the administrative centre of the city, the Civic Hall, was designed and built in white Portland stone from Dorset. But if you look over here, there's another Broderick building, rather more traditional. It's the old Mechanics Institute, now redesigned and laid out as the magnificent Leeds City Museum. But let's have a stroll over here and have a look and see what on earth are these two great big owls? The owls are part of the Leeds coat of arms, and they come to the city courtesy of Sir John Savile. Now, he has them in his coat of arms as well, but Sir John Savile was the one who in 1625 successfully petitioned King Charles I to allow the city to become a borough and administer itself with aldermen and a corporation. If I'd stood on this spot in medieval times, I could have looked straight down there to the bridge over the River Aire, and that's how Briggate or Briggate got its name. Now, in those medieval times, there would have been regular-sized plots of land down each side of the street, in front of the shops, in front of the houses. But despite the passage of the years, not everything round here has changed. Running off Briggate, there are still in existence a number of the old medieval streets. In one, for example, you can find now the world-famous City Varieties Music Hall. But all these streets were the same length and the same width, and each property on these streets would have had its own small plot of land, known as a burgage. But come across the road for one of the most iconic sites in Leeds today. It is, of course, that shopper's paradise, the upmarket department store Harvey Nichols, the place every city would love to have in its city centre. But although Harvey Nichols may represent retail ecstasy for some people, for others, the great arcades off Briggate take a lot of beating. But where did the money for all this development come from? Well, if you'd been on Briggate in the 18th century, you'd have been surrounded by a busy cloth market on both sides of the street. Indeed, business was so brisk that by the end of the century, permanent cloth halls were being built to keep pace with the demand for buying and selling. It underlined one important point. Leeds had become the trading centre for the Yorkshire textile industry. This building down here at the end of the street is the third of the permanent cloth halls to be built. It dates back to 1776. At its height, it contained 1,213 stalls, and it was buying and selling 2/3 of the entire output of the Yorkshire textile industry. But now, though, it's time to visit over here, probably one of the most beautiful buildings in the entire city of Leeds. This is the Corn Exchange. It's another masterpiece by Cuthbert Broderick, and it was opened back in 1862. By late Victorian times, every conceivable sort of good seemed to be flowing through Leeds. There was textiles, agricultural produce, coal, wood, stone, chemicals, you name it. And the reason was that by then Leeds was already at the centre of a transport network of railways, roads and canals. Indeed, goods for exports could go straight onto a barge here in the centre of Leeds and go directly to the Humber ports. There may no longer be markets and merchants all over Briggate, but other industries have arisen to take their place. For example, Leeds is now a major centre for the financial services industry. Then many of the major law firms have bases here. And of course, we mustn't forget the visitors, the tourists who come to see attractions like the Royal Armouries, while there are other people who come here because they want to live in one of the magnificent, luxurious apartments overlooking the waterfront. And of course, perhaps most important of all for some people, those twin attractions, retail therapy and nightlife. Leeds is indeed a city constantly reinventing itself.